Jan, and I am so excited that it's Christmas time. I am getting ready to begin doing some Advent journaling. I've even purchased a new Bible that I am going to be doing that in. It is a ESV, and don't you just love the Italian marbled paper cover on it? It just said Christmas to me, and I want to start this year and keep it for every year's Advent journaling. But I kind of wanted to protect it, or maybe even do something a little special for it so that it can sit out as part of our home decor. So I have created this paintable canvas cover to go on it, and I think it's going to be super fun, and I want to show you how I have decorated it. Now, those of you that have been following me, you know that I've created a line art product called One and Done's that I use for a lot of my Bible journaling, but I really didn't have any Christmas imagery in there. So I have created a set of printable line art One and Done's that are Christmas themed, and they are downloadable, and you can print them on vellum paper that is inkjet or laser suitable. I get mine at Staples, and they work really, really well. So to begin with, I want to prep this canvas with some white gesso. That's just going to kind of seal it and make everything else really nice and neat and clean. I wanted to protect the ribbons that are on the cover, so I'm taking some post-it note strips and just putting a little bit of protection right around there. I will be really careful, but you never know. Sometimes a paintbrush will go astray. So I'm just using a sponge brush to cover every inch of it all the way around to the edges, making it a really nice, consistent cover to work with. And to speed it up, I'm going to use my heat tool to kind of speed things along, and then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to do the inside flaps. I'm not going to do that inside part because it's going to be covered up anyway. So very easy, quick prep. All you need to do is do a little white gesso. So I am kind of previewing several of the pieces here. I was really thinking about the poinsettias. I love this Mary and Joseph on the way to Bethlehem. And then I really liked these three kings, but I ended up, they were a little too big. So I created a special One and Done just for this cover. And a few of you have requested purchasing these covers, so if you end up purchasing one from me, I will be happy to give you this special One and Done that I created. I cut it down to size after I printed it out. I liked having the frame around the wise men, and they are more perfectly suited for the size of this cover. So I'm using my stylus and my graphite paper, and you see I've got it nice and transferred. Having the white gesso really made that work well. So I'm taking a Sharpie now and going over all of the lines just to make them a little bit clearer. I know they look a little faint here, but in real life I was able to see them just fine. That's the great thing about graphite. It will show up nice and bright on white. I'm going to start by doing all of the background, and I'm using some heavy-bodied acrylic paint, which would normally flow really easily, but I was using a matte gesso, so I ended up just adding a little bit of water into it. I wanted this kind of two-toned blue background. You'll see I'm going to make it a very wintry background, so I'm just adding a little bit of water to make it go further. Because I created the cover with 2 layers of canvas with a layer of wool felt in between, there's no problem of it bleeding through whatsoever. So adding a little water to the paint is not going to cause any trouble whatsoever. So I'm just taking my time and going around and getting the detail of that done. Now I am creating a mask. I took a piece of tracing paper and I'm just tracing around. I'm going to do some stenciling, and I don't want to stencil over the image of the frame and the wise men. So I just traced it and am cutting it out, and now can place it down and keep that nice, neat and clean while I'm working. Now I'm going to use some more of those colors that I put out on my palette. I'm going to use that kind of teal and the white, and you can see now why I was not worried about having a really smooth finish. I like the mottled background that my two colors of blues had, because I want it to be a little messy, very wintry look, and with these snowflakes being sponged through the stencil, it's going to be a little messy. You're not going to notice the color gradient, and actually I think it actually helps the overall impact. So once I got all of my stenciling done on one side, I turned it over. Make sure it's good and dry. That will be a good key. You don't want to smear it because you've turned it over on your mat. And then I'm putting the same blue on the inside covers. Now I did not put the snowflakes in there. I wanted to keep that very simple. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to zoom in here and put some music on. I am speeding up the painting quite a bit. You can see that I'm just mixing and painting, but I know that you all like to see it from start to finish, so I'm just going to turn the music up and let you watch it, and I'll come back when there is something of particular interest to comment on. frame look a little bit dimensional, I'm going to mix a lighter color of brown. I want to start with my lightest color, and acrylic paint is opaque, so while I am painting it over all parts of the frame, you'll see that it begins to obscure the carved motif, and that's okay. We can add that back in. I am again adding water in to kind of extend this. I just want a nice light covering of this base color everywhere. And then I'm going to go in and mix a little bit darker, and I'm going to put it around the edges, and then almost as a shadow and anywhere that there is a recess in the carved elements. It doesn't take a lot, and don't worry about this too much. Just adding a little bit of darkness to the edges and anywhere that there is actually maybe something that is dimensional, like those carved pieces are hanging over the rest of the frame. Add just a little bit of a darker touch, and you will give a really nice illusion of dimension. Doesn't take much. And of course, now I can go back and redo the detail with my Sharpie, and it really makes everything kind of pop. And that little bit of dark that we added now makes the carving on the frame look very dimensional, which I just think is a super cool way to add a really neat touch, and it's not as difficult as it looks. Going to just touch up any of the spots that are left, or add any details like on the edge of that particular King's Row. The stars were getting a little purplish because the white acrylic paint, so I am using some white gel pen to add the stars and some gold gel pen to add some details. Now the final thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to add a little bit of gold swirl. Just these are wise men after all, and so I am just using some Delicata ink. It is a permanent ink, and a flourish, and I stamped it all over, and there is the completed project. I really love how it turned out. I ended up putting some of those stamped flourishes inside. It's going to make a wonderful cover for my Advent journaling, and it was really a whole lot easier than I even thought it would be. I hope you'll think about making one for yourself. If you've enjoyed this project, you might also consider joining me for my brand new Advent journaling series called Christ is Coming. It's going to begin December 1st, and you can register by clicking here. It'll take you over to my website. But the Advent journaling series is a little different from my other workshops. It is a daily devotional that will be sent to you with a journaling prompt to kind of inspire your own Advent journaling, but also give you access to a really great resource center with printables and downloadable things for you to work with as you journal your way through Advent. So I hope you'll think about joining me. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know this time of year is crazy, but I appreciate you joining me today. And if you would like to be notified of new content, please be sure and subscribe below, and a thumbs up would help me know that you are enjoying the content that I'm creating. I hope you are having a wonderful holiday season, and I'll be back with another video real soon.